Can you hear me now? Does that work?
Yes. Hello, Diana.
Hello, how are you, Linda?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Thank you for the
Yeah.
opportunity to be here.
Yeah. Welcome to the Global Virtual Summit 2026, Dr. Diana. And
Thank you.
before going to start your session, I want to introduce you to our audience.
Thank you.
Dr. Diana Richardson, known as a Glow-Getter mentor, has built an accomplished career spanning over 2 decades in the beauty, well-being, and skincare industry, earning global recognition for her expertise, business acumen, and dedication to service. With more than 60,000 hours of experience, numerous international awards, and a nomination for an honorary doctorate in entrepreneurship, she is celebrated as a leader and change maker in her field. As the best selling author and podcast host, Diana empowers thousands of professionals, embodying the spirit of unstoppable women, leadership, and legacy through her commitment to education, resilience, and transformation. You have done a really great job, Dr. Diana, and the stage is all yours.
Thank you very much. Can you see my shared screen?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, distinguished guests, community leaders, and global delegates. Today, I stand before you not only to simply speak about a program, but to speak about a movement. Women, leadership, legacy, living your legacy. This movement was born in E-Village, India, a movement rooted in dignity, a movement called Mahila Udyami. Mahila means woman, Udyami means entrepreneur, and together they represent possibility. But today I want to go deeper than enterprise. I want to talk about 3 words that define this movement: women, leadership, and legacy. Women are the untappable economic powerhouse. Across India, in villages, towns, cities, women are already leaders. They manage households, they manage finances, they manage resilience. And yet, access to capital, digital literacy, structured mentorship, and international markets remain uneven. Globally, research consistently shows that when women participate fully in the economy, the GDP rises significantly. But this is not just about statistics, it is about stability. When a woman earns, she reinvests in her family. When she invests in her family, children stay in school longer, healthcare improves, nutrition improves, community cohesion strengthens. Empowering women is not charity, it's economic strategy. In E-Village, when Mahila Udyami was launched, I've literally just got back from India on Monday. So we cut the ribbon to launch the global hub, which is why I'm so excited to share this with you. But it's a simple but radical belief, because we don't give women handouts. Women don't expect handouts. We give them frameworks. It doesn't create dependence, it creates capability. Leadership beyond titles. Leadership isn't a position. Leadership is a responsibility. And when women in emerging economies are already demonstrating extraordinary leadership, often without recognition, Mahila Udyami recognizes that entrepreneurship is a form of leadership. When a rural woman starts a micro enterprise, she negotiates supply chains, she manages risk, she builds customer relationships, and she creates employment. It is leadership in its purest form, but leadership needs structure. And that's why with Mahila Udyami, it focuses on 3 pillars. Number 1 is education and enterprise training, business literacy, financial fluency, digital competence, because confidence grows when competence grows. Access to capital paired with mentorship. Capital alone can be overwhelming. Mentorship alone can be frustrating, but together they create sustainability. We match funding with structured guidance, reducing failure rates and increasing long-term viability. And number 3, a global business hub. This hub connects rural entrepreneurs with international advisors, ethical investors, and global markets. We're not limiting ambition to geography, we're expanding opportunity beyond it. Sustainable philanthropy is the shift we must make. Let's honestly talk about philanthropy. Traditional philanthropy often measures generosity by the size of the donation. But sustainable philanthropy measures success by the durability of the outcome. So the question is not how much did you give or do we give? The question is what continues to grow because we invested. Sustainable philanthropy requires accountability, measurable outcomes, local ownership, and long-term partnership. It moves from sympathy to strategy. Mahila Udiami is structured. We are building a global movement with Mahila Udiami. We have a branch in Botswana, in India. We have a branch in Puerto Rico and one that's being started in Argentina. And this movement continues to grow. Mahila Udiami is structured so that businesses become self-sustaining. Entrepreneurs reinvest locally. Skills remain even if funding cycles shift. And communities develop internal economic resilience. This is an ecosystem that we are creating and supporting. A story of leadership in action. Let me share something powerful. When you sit with a woman in rural India who has just completed enterprise training, this gives me chills. You see something change. Her posture shifts. Her language changes. She moves from can I to I will. That transformation is leadership awakening. And leadership awakening creates legacy. And it's about creating a legacy beyond this generation. When we hear the word legacy, we often think of the future. We think of something that we leave behind, something people say about us when we're no longer in the room. But true legacy is not built at the end of life. It is built in how we live today. Living your legacy means leading in a way that outlives your title, your role, and even your generation. And when women lead, they lead intentionally, courageously, sustainably, and the ripple effect is extraordinary. Legacy is stewardship. It asks, what am I building that strengthens others? What am I shaping that will endure? And who grows because I chose to lead? Women in leadership often carry a powerful instinct for long-term thinking. Many lead not just for quarterly results, but for generational impact. When a woman leads a business ethically, she models integrity. When she leads a community initiative, she models inclusion. When she leads a family and an enterprise simultaneously, she models resilience. Leadership becomes visible. Possibilities become normalized. And normalization changes culture. Legacy is not what we leave behind. Legacy is what continues because we showed up. Mahila Udiami is not building short-term impact. We are building generational change. When a mother builds a business, her daughter grows up seeing that entrepreneurship is normal, and her son grows up seeing women as leaders. This is cultural transformation. To our Indian community, this movement honors their heritage of enterprise, resilience, and family unity. To our global community, this is an invitation to collaborate, not to observe. Sustainable philanthropy requires partnership across borders. Capital from one country, innovation from another, local leadership rooted in community wisdom, and together that becomes unstoppable. The global responsibility of leadership. We live in a time of rapid economic change. Technology is transforming industries, markets are shifting, Geopolitics are evolving, but one truth remains constant. Nations that empower women outperform those that do not. Communities that invest in female leadership grow stronger social structures. And organizations that embed purpose into profitability sustain longer. Mahila Udiami sits at the intersection of economic empowerment, ethical investment, leadership development, global collaboration. It's not a project, it is a platform. Living your legacy means leading with intention. It's not asking, how high can I climb? But asking, how many rise because I did? 4 ways that women add value: generational value, economic value, cultural value, social value. Use your voice, your influence to empower others, because when you do, she leads with confidence. She makes decisions with integrity. She mentors others. And when asked where she was led and where she learned to lead, she says, I saw it modeled. That is legacy in leadership. Legacy is not the monument, it's the movement. And when women lead with purpose, sustainability, and courage, communities don't just improve, they transform. So, a call to action today. What does this mean for you? To the community leaders, it means championing local women entrepreneurs, opening doors, offering mentorship, advocating for visibility. When we talk about living legacy through women's leadership, we're not speaking in abstract ideals. We're talking about the GDP expansion, corporate resilience, human capital development, governance improvement, poverty reduction. Women in leadership add measurable value. And when that leadership is supported by sustainable philanthropy, philanthropy that builds ecosystems rather than dependency, the impact compounds. To the investors and philanthropists, fund ecosystems, not events. Think in decades, not quarters. The World Bank says that they consistently report that increasing women's access to finance and entrepreneurship opportunities are directly linked to poverty reduction and improved national productivity. Yet globally, women-led businesses still face significant financing gaps. Closing that gap is not charity, it is macroeconomic correction. And to the policymakers, create regulatory frameworks that reduce barriers for women-led enterprises. Research from Credit Suisse analyzed over 3,000 companies, and they found that organizations with at least one woman on the board demonstrated higher return on equity and better average growth than those with all male boards. This reinforces a critical point. Diverse leadership is correlated with stronger governance and stronger financial outcomes. For institutional investors and regulators, representation is not symbolic. It is linked to performance resilience. For policymakers, this is not a social agenda. This is a growth agenda. When women participate fully, economies expand. And to the global delegates, bring networks, bring enterprise, bring partnership. Because when we align women, leadership, and sustainable philanthropy, we build something far more powerful than charity. We build autonomy. According to the United Nations data, women reinvest 90% of their income back into their communities, compared to only 30 or 40% of men. That's back into their families, back into their communities, particularly in areas of education, health, and nutrition. So investing in women entrepreneurs creates multi-sector social returns. It improves literacy rates. There's better health outcomes and increased long-term workforce capability. One woman's economic empowerment strengthens human capital development. It's the ripple effect. When women lead ethically, communities transform. For governments, living legacy means creating regulatory environments that remove structural barriers. For investors, it means directing capital towards women-led enterprises. For philanthropists, it means funding systems, not one-off events. For community leaders, it means mentorship, pipelines, and visibility. Because legacy at a policy level asks, will future generations inherit stronger systems because of the decisions we made today? The legacy question, let me leave you with this. Years from now, when the women of E-Village are running scalable enterprises, when their children are educated, when rural supply chains are digitally connected to global markets, when women sit at leadership tables because entrepreneurship gave them confidence, what will we say we did? Did we witness or did we build? Mahila Udiami is more than a movement. It's a declaration that women are not beneficiaries. They are builders. That leadership is not granted. It is grown. That legacy is not accidental. It is intentional. Women, leadership, legacy. Let us live it now. Let us build all three together. The data supports it. The economics demand it. And the communities benefit from it. And the future will reflect whether we acted or not. Thank you so much for your time. If you want to connect with us, Dr. Diana Richardson, the Glow Getter Mentor, and mahilauriami.org. Thank you so much for your time today.
Hello, Dr. Diana.
Hello, was that fast enough?
Yeah.
You guys said you're running behind schedule, so I tried to speed it up as much as I could.
Thank you so much for your session, Dr. Diana. And we have a question from our audience, Diana. I want to ask you one.
Okay. Thank you.
What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind?
What legacy do I want to leave behind?
Yeah.
I want everybody to be glow getters, to be empowered, to be confident business owners, education through entrepreneurship.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your valuable time today, Dr. Diana. And please be on the backstage and join the next session.
I will.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.